Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The Trilogy fight between Derek Chisora and DILLIAN WHYTE is set to take place in December, just a few contract details to be sorted out. Frank Warren has been telling media it is going to happen December 13, Manchester. Although Derek Chisora on the Parker Wardley broadcast poured a little bit of cold water, Derek Chisora style, on the potential fight, saying, look, the paperwork needs to be right. And he repeated it a number of times, but then ultimately said he thinks the fight will actually happen. Here's a clip of that.
The contract is right, yeah, but right now it's not, so we don't know. Listen, I want the fight, but the paperwork has to be right. Yeah, you know what I'm talking, paperwork has to be right. Yeah, I want the fight. The fight will happen in December with Dylan, 100%.
And for his part, DILLIAN WHYTE was next to Chisora, and he said, look, let's just make it happen.
Derek called me and said, wanna fight? I said, yeah, let's go, whatever. Listen, I don't run from no fights. I take any fight on whenever, regardless. I show up on a fight and give it my all, so whatever. He's talking about contract this, contract that. I don't give a all that. I just want to fight. I love fighting, I enjoy fighting. I want to do it while I'm young, give the fans and the supporters the fights they want, and then when it's done, it's done. Time wait for no man.
So I think despite the theatrics from Derek Chisora in terms of trying to squeeze a little bit more money out of things, the fight is going to take place. It seems like the venue, etc., is booked. The event will go ahead, and these guys will headline a trilogy. So this is a fight that, had it been like 4 years ago, I think I would have been far more excited for, but both these guys were off doing different things, fighting different opponents, operating at different levels, and now they've kind of, their careers have converged again, with Derek Chisora actually being the guy that, despite being a little bit older than DILLIAN WHYTE, is actually in some purple form. He has actually been fighting very well. He beat Joe Joyce, he beat Otto Wallin, having a great year or two, and whereas DILLIAN WHYTE got trounced in a round by Moses Utoma earlier this year, and he's looked terrible in his fights going back for the past 3 years. Obviously, we saw him get obliterated by Tyson Fury, looked terrible in his tune-up fights in the past year or so. Christian Hammer in Ireland didn't look good. So if this fight goes ahead, this could be the last time we see DILLIAN WHYTE. I'm not sure it'll be the last time we see Derek Chisora, because even though he's meant to be retiring after 50 fights, if he keeps winning, I don't think he can help himself. As it is, I thought he was going to be farewelling Manchester, a fight or two ago, when he said he was having his final fight there. He's had a final fight at Manchester at the O2, but it's Derek Chisora. Is like a cockroach. You just can't get rid of him. He keeps returning, and he keeps hanging around and doing good work in the heavyweight division. He has been an elite gatekeeper for several years now, and there's been a run of wins and losses, but ultimately though, if you're not good enough, he will close the gate on you very firmly, as Joe Joyce, who was looking to get back to some big cards, big fights, found out, and also Otto Wallin, who didn't seem to have the stomach for that fight, and put on a poor performance. But Derek Chisora basically bossed it, and now he's in this sort of prime position. Whereas I think the other scenario for DILLIAN WHYTE is, this is basically all that's left. This is basically the only way that he can get a big final payday. I mean, you could have argued he probably should have retired after the Itoma fight, where he was trounced in a round. But he's hung around, he's going to get another payday, but I do see him as the B-side in this fight, and also the Chisora being the heavy favourite. Because while Chisora is washed, DILLIAN WHYTE is just obliterated in terms of being washed. He is, it hasn't been great, but maybe because The styles, perhaps this fight will mesh well, perhaps it'll go some rounds, but it wouldn't surprise me as well if Chisora goes in there and puts him out in under half a dozen rounds. Not expecting necessarily to see him take him out in the first round a la Atoma style, but I do think he goes in a favourite because Dillian Whyte is just so faded at this point. Chisora has been washed for a number of years to a degree, but Dillian Whyte has fallen off an absolute cliff. You know, he, at his peak, he was a very good heavyweight, you know, had some very good attributes, had some good years and some good wins, but that's way in the rear view at this point, and Dillian Whyte is basically there for the taking, and this is almost, I sort of feel, a bit of a gift-wrapped present for the 50th fight for Derek Chisora. I think he is going to take this one. He'll get a bit of revenge, and as he said in that interview on the Parker Wardley broadcast, he thought he won the first fight. So did I. I thought he won that first fight. I thought Whyte was lucky to get the decision. Obviously, the second fight, it was conclusive, but this could be some get back for Derek Chisora. And considering Dillian Whyte is not really much left in his career, not much left in the tank to sort of be squeezed out, both in terms of what's left in terms of the talent and also, you know, taking credit from his name. If it doesn't happen now, it will never happen. So I guess the timing is right for Chisora to pounce and get a little bit of get back here. What do you make of this potential fight? Manchester, Frank Warren saying it will happen, is going to happen, so it should be announced in. Actually, we're not really that too far away. This is almost the end of October at recording this video. It will come around quickly. It wouldn't surprise me if it's announced in the next week or so. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.